morning. It's Friday, May 12th. And despite the many times that I have said this country is in bad shape, and we are rent asunder, split in the middle, and running in different directions that I don't agree with, I still feel it's probably better than most of the countries in this world. But one of the things that have been bothering me for a while is the entire situation with the debt ceiling. And so I'm sitting around with nothing much to think about, except that I knew that I had to do a rant this morning. So I decided to do a rant on my thoughts about the debt ceiling. And I have to tell you right now, before I go any further, that I'm probably dead wrong in what I was thinking. In fact, I know I'm dead wrong in what I was thinking. But I was thinking that if we had enough tax money raised, that the debt ceiling would become a minor issue if we had a stash of cash lying around. But unfortunately, that won't work because things happen in the course of a season, of a year, that are unexpected. We can have catastrophic weather events that cause a need for a chunk of change, so to speak. Or we can have some evil country or some evil group of men that do something that upsets the balance of nature, so to speak. So I guess when you really look at that part of the debt ceiling, it's required. Because there are unexpected things that happen in people's lives. And if you multiply the unexpected things that happen in people's lives, and you recognize the fact that we have 330 million people in this country, there's going to be a lot of unexpected things that happen in this country, and we desperately need cash for those situations. Because I was thinking that if we raised the taxes and collected enough tax money, we would have a stash that could cover almost all emergencies, and there wouldn't be any reason to be in debt. But I come to recognize, after listening to my good friend Bard, actually I wasn't listening, but he wrote the answer to my question. When I asked Bard if there was any way to raise taxes to help with the national debt limit. Right? And this is what Bard told me. Well, he didn't actually speak to me, but he wrote it all down. Can raising taxes eliminate the raising of the debt ceiling? And Bard came back to me and said, raising taxes can help to reduce the national debt, but it cannot eliminate the need to raise the debt ceiling. See, the debt ceiling is a limit on the amount of federal money that the government can borrow. So the debt ceiling has really a small relationship with taxes, but it's really put in place to control our borrowing. And that is set by Congress. Congress sets the debt ceiling. And realistically, it must be raised periodically in order to allow the government to continue to borrow money. To continue to borrow money to pay its bills. And that's where we're sitting right now. It's this continuation of borrowing money that seems to be driving the Republicans crazy, and the Democrats see no need to stop and control it in some way, shape, or form. But the Republicans think that if we could stop borrowing money, we could then eliminate some of the social programs that go on, specifically things like Medicare and Social Security. Those things come into their head first of all. They don't think about some other things like maybe we should spend a little less money on defense or something like that. But in any event, so that's what Bard told me. Even if taxes are raised, the government would still need money to borrow because it has to pay for the current spending levels. So the debt ceiling is related to what's going on in the world around us. And it's nothing but a simple limit on the amount of money that the government can borrow to attain these spending levels. But those spending levels are kind of imaginary because one can never know exactly what's going to affect the lives of 330 million people. We're at the mercy of the weather. We're at the mercy of other things that can complicate our lives. We're at the mercy of what other countries do and what we have to respond to. Did any of us imagine that we would be spending money on the Ukraine for a whole year to help them fight the Russians? No. So the countries are trapped. Our country gets trapped into needing more money. And that's what the debt ceiling is about, to control the borrowing in some way, shape, or form. But in some instances, the borrowing situation cannot be controlled. We have a weather disaster that puts hundreds of people's lives in danger. How do you put a stop to using our money to help those people? Floods, forest fires, all of those things come into this equation. Plus what else is happening outside this country, like the Ukraine, for instance. So raising taxes could help. Bart did say raising taxes could help to reduce the national debt over time, but it would not eliminate the need to raise the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is a separate issue from the national debt, and it must remain in effect in order for the government to borrow money to pay its bills. Bart also gave a little bit of history. Said the debt ceiling was established in 1917 and it's been raised 78 times since then. He also said that the debt ceiling is a very controversial issue. Some believe it's a very important tool for Congress to have to control government spending. And there is another side to the coin that says it's an unnecessary obstacle to the government's ability to pay its bills. So do we want an uncontrollable situation in our government? I don't think so. So I think we do need the debt ceiling. And it's also been a major issue of political gridlock in the last couple of years. And we've seen the actions of Congress, which is different every time the political party in power changes. In Trump's 4-year terms, the debt ceiling was raised 3 times because he controlled the majority of Congress. So this situation, according to Bart, is very complex. No easy answers, and I would have to agree with Bart on that. But it's important that we understand the issue, and it's important that we understand the arguments on both sides, because there are merits to both sides of these arguments. But right now, in my mind, this little exercise has convinced me that the debt ceiling is a necessary evil, so to speak. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.